here we are.
10 years later. It's insane to think about it. Since 2015, been through a lot of stuff, and now here, celebrating the 10th anniversary of In Pursuit of Dreams.
Exactly. It's been alright.
I want to know, how do you feel about that album? Like in our whole catalog, what is the role of that album for you?
It was one of the most important album that were released, of course, but far away from that, one of the feeling that is so important in the album, not that it's not in the other albums, but it's just so more touchable, is the anger in that album.
And it's so raw and real.
Yeah, and it's like, you can see the reason, because the place that we were actually.
Yeah, everything was coming from real place. This is something I want to actually talk about. That album has such a specific and such a important role in our career, and personally, it has such an important place in my heart.
One of the actual feelings that I have about this album, when I still to this day listen to it, is about far away from the memories and everything. It's about the anger that this album had. It's about the punch that it had. And I look back to those days, it's just with all of those, little equipment that we had here and there, we could just come up with something like this. It was a game changer in our career, and with all the things that it was happening around it, in fact, is it makes it more noticeable for me.
Okay. For me, is that it's album different.
I love the other albums as well.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to choose which one is your most favorite. Each one is, it's like a child and has its own specific thing that you love about it. But the thing is, for me, this album holds a very special place in my heart, because I think, since you said it, like it was born in the middle of chaos, in the middle of the war field, kind of,
True.
And it was something that musically, I think, it elevated the game in the metal scene in Iran.
Exactly.
Like, in terms of quality, in terms of music, in terms of songwriting, the lyrics, everything that we did, I think it elevated the game. And so I think it was good for the culture. And at the same time, I think, in a personal level, this album put us on a map. And it was so impossible at the time to think that, like, you know what I mean? Like, 2 weeks after the release, we will end up in jail. And when that happened, we were just, at that time, I remember, we were very excited. We were like, now is the time to maybe look into how we can go abroad and start playing shows. We were kind of like, daydreaming about a couple of things. And then when that happened, it was kind of like, I forgot. Yeah, it was like, completely forgot that. What the fuck was I even doing? It was like, you're in the middle of something that takes you away from all your goals and dreams and everything. And ironically, that In Pursuit of Dreams,
you're going after your dreams.
Yeah, that, for example, in Phoenix, the album after that, I say In Pursuit of Dreams, I saw a lot of things that nobody had ever seen. It was like we went through a lot to be able to pursue that. So for me, is also musically.
Yeah, it was.
To be honest, sometimes I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to write the same, like, you know what I mean, like the same type of songs that gave me same type of feeling. I wrote many more songs after that. Each one has its own,
Yeah, of course.
But the thing about the album,
like, musically, I think it was, In Pursuit of Dreams was a different genre that we worked with, and maybe we didn't notice we were just doing one genre there and going back to what we're playing today, because I think it was like, we were like much more about speed and like solos, and
it was way more
it was like it was a technical album. Not that the other ones are not, but this one was like,
it was
very
very
much, we were so paying attention to the details, and it was so important that, okay, let's make a fast song.
Yeah.
What is the fastest that I can make?
Yeah, this album is very, very thrash oriented. Especially going back
exactly.
and listening to it, you can understand more. Back then, we were like, I don't know, is it thrashy enough? Is it like more like metalcore? Is it more because back then it was like modern thrash type of
Yeah.
thing was big next to metalcore, and metalcore for me, for both of us, was kind of like
It was the age for it.
yeah, it was kind of like the trend back then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there were tons of like metalcores that like had some of those like death metal elements to it that I know that we like both of us. But the thing is that yes, it is more technical and it's way more thrashier. And later on, we were more drawn towards because also with the detuning and all that, we were more drawn towards groove metal and the death metal
Yeah,
and
and
all that.
actually, I think it's in the scene of we're on. It's
It was
maybe
outdated for
no,
us.
no, huh?
We either had death metal or
Yeah,
we had the metal
and
cores. There
I
was
think
no
like
like
quality-wise
yeah.
back there, I mean, if anyone did this, I would still say the same.
Mm.
But not just because it's our
Yeah, yeah,
album,
yeah. Yeah.
but I think it evolved the scene based on the quality. Back in the days, most of the things you were hearing, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I noticed it years later that most of the things back there you were hearing, okay, it's just one track by this band, one track by that band. Okay, it's great, but I'm
Mm.
just saying, like, we,
We
we
put out
started printing
14
14, 15
yeah, it
tracks.
was like 14 songs in one album. It was more than 1 hour. We had 3 unreleased songs, which is coming out in this 10th anniversary edition. And it was more than 1 hour. It was so
And
consistent.
and we went from the first, like, from the trashy songs all the way to, like,
Yeah.
something like 5 Years in Cave, like,
Yeah, and everything. Yeah. But when you mention that, it's also interesting because, for example, 5 Years in Cave, you can kind of hear what's about to come in the
exactly,
future.
that's what I want to
You
say.
can see, like that album, we said thrash metal, but it had elements from new metal, it had elements from hardcore, it had elements from death metal and all that. But the thing is that it was kind of wrapped in thrash riffs, and vocals were not like a thrash type of vocals. It was more like still death metal, a little
That
bit
was
of
like a
hardcore.
mixture.
Yeah. And it's true because before that, I never heard anyone be able to do that. Like
Exactly.
put out an album with 14 songs and we made the damage. Just the fact that we got arrested.
We brought the interesting
I'm Your
things.
God Now was in our charges.
Yeah.
Tehran,
There were songs.
Thorn Within.
Oh.
It was tons of shit, artworks and all that. But one thing I want to talk about is the feeling that led up to In Pursuit. What was your dwarf look like?
Back there.
I'm talking about 2013, 14. Because at 14 we were still recording the album. At 13 I was like almost like in the middle of writing process.
I just saw it as a way to express the feelings back there.
Yeah.
How did we feel? What was the situation?
So it was more than releasing just music.
Yeah,
for
of
you.
course.
Exactly.
Because it was like how can I say it? It was like, okay, I have some feelings. I want to fight something, and this is the way. This is the weapon,
Exactly.
And we used it as a weapon, and that's how I feel about it. I think we put our best there. As I said previously, like in my sentence, I think this evolved the scene is because we used all the quality available back there for this album. We printed a good album. We printed the catalogs, models, like all these things. So basically, that was our best back there, and we used it in a best way. We made the best weapon. We put our words into it, our feelings.
Remember something I used to say was like, I want to make an album.
Yeah.
That when I look back in 10 years, I say I couldn't do better. With all the equipment that I have, which was next to nothing.
Yeah.
And everything all together that we had, I was like, I want to make the best thing possible. That when I look back, I can say I couldn't do better with this.
With this.
And with this knowledge that I have.
That's like...
and I could do it, man. When we're doing the remastering the album, I was like, seriously, like, yeah, I know it could sound wise. I'm just talking about sound. Musically, I think it's perfect. It was like sound wise, yeah, it could have been better. Maybe drums could be a little bit more crispier, or the guitars could be a little bit more, I don't know, muscly in a way.
Mm.
But it was like this is what we had, and even for what it is, when you look at it, it's very decent. It's decent enough to say I want to put it out there again for the new generation to hear. Because the thing is that when you put out an album, and while it's out, you're in jail. I think only Tupac can understand that. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's like you're not there to promote it. You're not there to do the
Enjoy the aftermath.
Nothing. There's
There's another
fucking
aftermath
solitary
theory into
confinement. Exactly. But the feeling that I had as the person who was writing lyrics, I was in a very, very, very dark place in my life because of substance abuse, because of depression,
Mm.
being involved in, like, bad relationships, bad friendships, all of that. I was in a place that I felt so alone, and I felt like this is the only thing that I have. It's this music, it's our friendship, it's something that I can hold on to. And writing those songs for me was more than just, oh, I'm writing the next song. For me, it
Mm.
was like a musical diary in a way. I felt like it was my only outlet to let out. Like the political status in Iran after 2009 Green Movement got worse and worse, which led up to
push your hands more and more.
Exactly. And I was like, dude, I really want to fucking talk.
Pulling the trigger.
And you listen to the fucking lyrics of the album, and you're like, holy fucking shit. This is fucking dark.
Yeah.
And it's so raw and so emotional. And some of the quotes of the album is like, for example, in Albert of Deja Vu, there is this part that I completely forgot, but I just heard it like a couple of months ago during the remastering the album. I say I'd rather born than stay alive in here. I was like, holy shit, damn! Like, where should somebody be in life to
wish death upon himself?
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. But I'm happy that we got to this point of our lives. We're still fighting back. We're not holding back, and we have big stuff coming up. The new documentary Into the Void coming out on September 22nd.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Hulu, we worked with Wise on this. Great guys. I think ended up being very, very good. We can't say much, but probably by the time that this will come out, the documentary is already out. But what's your vision for the future? What do you think?
I think after Destination and all of these things that happened around it, like including the documentary that we've worked with those great guys, and the backlashes that we got from the album, and all of that, I think from here is just the way up.
Yeah.
So I think the good days and all of those things that we were thinking about it actually back in the days, like even those days in jail, it's coming true. And I think all of these things that is happening now is gonna do us a world of good.
I totally agree. I feel like finally we are in a place in our career that we can say we're kind of getting the attention that the band deserved.
Exactly.
And through that, we're able to represent ourselves better, to put out the music to a larger audience. And all that, and because at the end of the day, it was never ever about the ego. It was always about the dude. I went through all of that for this music. A lot of these people, I don't want to mention names, but they take for granted what they have. And I understand that when you don't know what the alternative could be, you cannot imagine. I cannot imagine a lot of things in my life. But all I know is that when you go through something and you endure so much pain and pressure,
You
living in exile,
deserve
not
the
being able
best
to see your
out of
family, your friends, and
yeah.
all that, you hold on to something so tight and you're like, I'm not going to let it go. But of course, there are obstacles. And you somehow feel like what I have to say, it's more, and remember, making metal music, you feel like it's more real. And I will say it. But I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep on going. Because, of course, after Iran, we had a different set of problems.
Yeah.
It was not like, there's some people, it's like, oh, fairy tale. They just like,
Oh, they went there. Now they're walking on the red
yeah,
carpet.
it's not true. It's not true in any cases for anyone.
You deal with a lot of
You
things
deal with
after.
it's like you changed your setup problem, but that's a discussion for another time. Just to focus on this time, maybe we should talk about what was going on back in the days. For example, the process of recording.
Yeah.
That was
That was something. I remember
Yeah, tell us.
I was personally I was living like 45 kilometers away from you, and for recording I had to come and go, and that was the best moments. You're sitting in the car and you're on the way there, and you just thinking that you're listening to some music when you're teenage days. Oh, I'm going to record this album. Oh, I love this album. I just want to get there. And you get there and you just, it's amazing, every moment of it. Yeah, it's not a big studio. Back there, we didn't even think about these things.
The thing with the studio is that, of course, going to a studio is expensive. It is expensive.
Yeah. Everywhere. No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like if you have a huge...
But the thing is that, of course, going to studio is expensive everywhere. And we're talking about Iran. You have permits for everything. And we were like, most of the stuff we can record it at home, and that's what we did. That was probably the most exciting part of the whole the whole album.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, do you remember anything from those days?
Yeah, because you did the guitar parts yourself.
Yeah, I did the guitars, the bass, and in our house, home studio. I don't know if you could call it home studio. And when we started doing vocals from mid 2014, it's like summer of 14.
Yeah,
because I have memories that it was also summer.
Yeah.
It has to be summer of 2014. And then you were coming out.
And we started the first song.
You were the sound engineer.
Yeah, and the first song back there, we started with "I'm Your God Now,"
which came out as the first single track. Yeah, and you were living in suburb area. Yeah, I was like 40 kilometers.
I was like 45 kilometers away, and all this time I was like, I had to come and go. I was like so excited to just get there, do the vocals, and like, okay, let's talk about doing my parts there, and okay, what are we going to add? Okay, listen to it, and then be like, okay, this part we can do some turntables on it. All right, this part we can
like brainstorming.
Yeah, exactly. And like the vocals is just one perfect. Just reading the lyrics,
it was crazy.
Checking the lyrics, one take.
I remember that's insane. Like as we speak, I'm starting to see images in my head. And I remember you were like, oh, I'm almost there, and I was setting up the mics and taking off your backpack and just
open the door. Yeah, that's it.
Sat down, just one cigarette, and we're just sitting down and just working until maybe 10, 11.
Yeah.
And record maybe one or maybe two songs, And it was a very lengthy process because remember, it was 14 songs.
And I'm
sorry, 17 songs. 14 of them came out. Actually, it was 19 songs. 2 more songs that we did, we just didn't do the vocals for them, if you remember. And these 3 songs, Face Off, Convention, and Watch the Decay of Sun, is also coming out with the 10th anniversary release. And so everybody will hear. But yeah, That
The
was
vocal pose. Yeah, and
that's
after
what
that, when we were done, like the plan was we always just going to get some fresh air and talking about what we did and what we're gonna do next.
exactly after the recording sessions we were like going out and we're talking about what we did that and it was so organic. It was not like these cheesy how do you evaluate your day? It's not like that. We're just going out, sitting somewhere. My voice was like, "Yeah, man, how did you like that?" You know. And then we're just eating something, just chopping it up, and just talking about what we did and what we're gonna do. It's so motivating. And dude, let me say something. Maybe it's the first time ever, but if we didn't have that motivation and that arrest happened, we would have fucking let go.
Yeah.
We were at our most motivated time. Like we were literally like on the 11th.
It happened in the right
And then
time.
it just was like they took a break and like boom. But dude, if we didn't have that speed, we'd probably like slowly dive down.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud that we, man, we stick to a gun. We were like, this is what we do, and fuck that. We don't let anyone tell us what to do. And as I said in Tehran, don't fuck with this band.
Yeah.
It was like, dude,
so
we
many
cannot fucking stop this.
so many ideas that we had. It was just adding in the last moment of recording.
Yeah, but stuff was being added. Yeah.
So,
It was crazy. Like it was something that I'll never forget. These are the things that made that album so special for me. Yeah, we also have Evan after that. After that album, Evan, Hegemony, We Can Tame the Beast, fucking Ransom, and Failure. We play all these on Phoenix. So all songs that we're identified with.
Yeah.
Recent album, Destination Addiction, we're Built on a Grave, Slaughterhouse, After Goliath, Expedition, Dark on Both Sides. But that album is like, it came out of the middle of Fire and Fury. It was me reporting to you what I'm saying, like a fucking reporter.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting for me to go back and listen and see a lot of those problems that I was talking about, my personal life, was solved by itself, or I fixed it, or life just, has its own ways. And to look back and say I'm still here and alive, and and it got even worse after the release. But not only me, you, both of us, we're here together doing the shit, and
we're gonna do it again, man.
Fucking doing it again because that's what we do. But it was awesome talking about that album, In Pursuit of Dreams, 10th anniversary edition. Check it out. And thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Boom.